Hello, Gwen.
Hello, Chloe, and hello, world.
Matt is out today, so Gwen is stepping in for us graciously. Thank you for joining us, you lovely human.
Oh, thank you for having me, you lovely human.
It's going to be a lot of compliments and mid-Atlantic accents today.
Absolutely, all day, every day.
All day. That's just how we operate.
It is.
It's just better. What have you been up to, Gwen?
Me? Well, I've been decorating for the holidays.
Yep.
Yeah, trying to spread some holiday cheer, just like within my domain.
Yeah. I think a lot of people who don't typically decorate are definitely decorating this year. We've got the time.
Yeah.
We need the cheer. We're doing it. We're going for it.
Well, gotta have the cheer.
You gotta have it.
Have it.
Speaking of holidays, happy Hanukkah, everyone. I'm wearing my Hanukkah sweater. It does light up. Let me see if I can figure this out.
One at a time?
Oh my gosh, that would be. I think I would have had to pay more for that. I got this at Target.
You know what? I'm still very impressed.
There we go. Look at that. Lighten up all day, every day. Let there be light, etc.
Oh, I love that. That's so wonderful.
Yeah. So Matt is not here today. We miss him very much. I'm going to be bumbling through this without.
Oh no, never. You bumble?
Me? No, I've always got everything together, always. But don't worry, we'll figure it out.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll trip our way through it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just another version of running, right? Like,
absolutely.
Running is falling forward gracefully, and that's how I like to live my life.
That's what Buzz Lightyear should have said. Running is falling forward gracefully.
Yeah. So we gotta get to our fun first segment. So let's talk a little trivia.
Ooh, love trivia.
Mike's gonna help us out. He's back. Hi, Mike.
Morning.
Look at the hair. Look at it.
Oh. It has a life of its own.
Oh, it's good.
Mike is alive. He just his hair needed a vacation. It does so much work. It works so hard.
It does. For all of us.
We're glad to have him back. So let's go. What day is it? Oh, today's trivia question. All right. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain above sea level, but not the tallest mountain from base to peak. Which mountain is that?
Well, I have a guess, but I'm going to save it.
I also have a guess. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but we're going to save it to the end of the show and we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll learn, and feel free, pop it up in the chat. If you have a guess, go for it.
Please share with us.
Guess away. We've already got one from Loaf the Wonder Bread. Loaf should know. Loaf is
watching live today. Welcome, Loaf.
Welcome, Loaf. That is a guess that would be my guess, but then I have this like vague sense that maybe it's in the Americas secretly.
Yeah. America secretly has the tallest mountains. I feel like if America had the tallest mountain, we'd be yelling about it a lot.
Well, here's the other thing. Do like volcano islands count as mountains?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do like suboceanic, I think that's the term, mountains count?
It must, because the question, it said something about sea level. So this is a trick question for sure. Any way you slice it.
You cut it diagonally, it's still a trick question.
That's how I like to cut my questions, diagonally.
Yeah. I like to put the crusts off mine.
Yeah. Also, what's our holiday today? National Wreaths Across America Day.
All right. Wreathing across America.
If we had the tallest mountain, we would cover it in wreaths. It's also National Monkey Day.
Yes. Oh. Here for the monkeys.
Here for it. I love that. What'd you say?
Have you ever seen a monkey? Like live?
Yes. I like doubted myself now that you said that, but like, I mean, like I've seen them at the zoo.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I've probably seen a monkey at the zoo. You're right.
Yeah. But I do have a story. Yeah. Oh, there's one. Oh my gosh. It's a monkey wreath. It's the perfect cross section of everything happening today.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Oh, who made that? My mom actually, so my mom had a very big and interesting family. And Uncle Leo, her great Uncle Leo, lived out in Hawaii, and he brought back, so she was one of 8 kids. And at some point, he came home with a spider monkey and left it with them. He left it. My mom, they had a spider monkey at their house. Spoiler alert, it's a terrible pet.
Okay, I was like, did it go well?
No.
You hope it went well, but you also know it probably didn't.
It probably did not. Like,
yeah, a monkey feels like something you got to be prepared for.
Yeah, there's way too much going on there.
Wow. Yeah, I need a moment to process that.
I think we all do. A moment to process. It sounds very illegal to have a monkey in Colorado.
Nothing's illegal in Colorado. That's not true. I'm not liable for anything you do in Colorado right now.
Nothing's illegal in Oregon. I think that's yeah.
The phrase, are we getting the phrase right?
I think that's it. I think it's, there's no place like home and nothing's illegal in Oregon.
Yeah, and what is it? Running is just falling forward gracefully.
There it is. That's our wisdom of the day. Usually we wait to the end of the show to dispense that wisdom, but you're lucky you're getting it up front.
Oh, yeah.
All right, enough talk about monkeys. Let's talk about drones. We're going to bring on our first guest. Please welcome to the show, Faine Greenwood, everyone. Yay!
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
So tell us about drones. Tell us about your latest project. What are you working on right now?
Sure. So I'm a specialist in the use of civilian drones. That means drones that aren't military, like the ones that you might be getting for Christmas, like the ones your dad might have crashed on Christmas. And I'm really interested in how people are using drones for everything from mapping to humanitarian aid to doing scientific research, a lot of various non-military applications of the technology. And so my background is I actually was working at the Harvard Humanitarian Initiative doing research on humanitarian technology, especially drones, till a couple years ago. And nowadays I'm consulting full-time on civilian drone technology, like the Department of Transportation here in Massachusetts. I'm consulting for some UN agencies, like, and I'm doing some work for other NGOs, kind of international aid organizations. So, and I do a lot of research. I also do a lot of writing work. So I've been writing for Slate and Foreign Policy and some other publications on drone technology and stuff related to that. I'm also really interested in privacy and ethics and kind of all of the implications of a world full of like weird little camera robots, which is what these things essentially are. And I'm also working on a book project about civilian drone technology. So I'm hoping to write a book about explaining what the heck drones are, where they came from, and what they're used for. Because aren't a ton of good resources out there on that right now, I think. But that's the gist of it.
Yeah. So how did you? So we talked a little bit about this before the show, but people get these drones for Christmas, and like we think of drones as like either a Christmas toy or something the military uses, and like how did that transition happen?
Yeah, so I mean, so it's really interesting to look at the development of the technology, because I think a lot of people think that the small drones that you buy for Christmas today, that you might see somebody using on the street or out in public, are directly descended from the Predator drones the military has been using since the early 2000s. The first Predator drone was, I think, launched in 2001, the first armed drone, actually. But it's actually not the case. The civilian drones you see today owe a whole lot, probably far more, to just model airplane and helicopter hobbyists. So there's been a really big model airplane and helicopter hobby community, basically since the dawn of man flight in the 1900s, and people first started getting really into this in the 1930s and 1940s as aircraft became more popular. And it's basically its direct lineage of nerdy people playing with model helicopters and planes, getting better and better at it over time. And the main reason we have such small civilian drones today with cameras and GPS and all that nice stuff is because of the iPhone. Because the rise of the iPhone really demanded the development of really tiny little sensors and really tiny little cameras and GPS receivers.
Yeah.
And those became a lot cheaper and more available, and people started figuring out you could put those on your model helicopter and you could fly it automatically. And that's one reason we have the 4 propellered drones you see today with the 4 rotors or props.
Yeah.
That's because of computers, because humans can't fly those. Our brains can't actually do that. So, once you have a computer, it makes it viable to have 4 rotors. Because it's just impossible to do manually.
Wow.
Yeah, just super interesting. It's just too hard. But thanks to computer. Yeah.
Wow. My mind is blown, which I mean, I guess is proof in the pudding that I couldn't control 4 routers.
I don't think we could do it.
Rotors? Oh no. I can't.
Like as everybody who's ever tried to fly a model helicopter, like with 1 propeller has learned, that is insanely hard. So just add 4 to the mix. Like there's a reason helicopter pilots have to be very brave, because it is terrifying. So, but thanks to computers, it's really has the computer basically tells all the propellers to rotate at the right speed.
Yeah.
And that controls it, and then you don't have to do the work with your feeble human brain.
Yeah, that has to be very coordinated. It's because oh my gosh, there's so much that could go wrong, because like ultimately, like flying a plane is usually safer than a helicopter, because with an airplane, even if your engine dies, you can glide, right? Yep. And with a helicopter, there are only so many safety mechanisms that are going to help you get on the ground safely if like something goes wrong with the propeller. So having 4 of them is just not. I understand.
It's too many.
It's too many. It's too many.
It's too many. Unless you have a computer, that's why any idiot can fly a drone, basically. A modern drone with GPS, because the GPS provides stability in addition to the computers. So the GPS tells the drone where it is in space. It can hover, so you can go up and slap a modern drone, and it'll kind of return to position. I mean, don't slap it too hard, but a gentle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wild! It sounds like they are so wholesome now that we know that they come from hobbyists. And I wanted to ask, when you mentioned that they're used for humanitarian aid, that's really cool. I would love to hear more about that.
Oh, sure. That's really what I've been focusing on for quite a long time now. So if you think of a drone as just a flying camera, so take the word drone away from it, which is scary, and I understand there's a lot of stuff going on there. Drones, civilian drones, by the way, are by no means purely benign. There's lots of nasty stuff you can do with them, which I can get into. But there's lots of good things you can do too. So in humanitarian aid context, there's a lot of great things you can do with a flying camera. And the other cool thing you can do is, because they have GPS receiver, you can make really great maps with drones. That's like 99% of what I do is figuring out making maps with drones. Because you can use modern software and the GPS receiver to, it's called orthomosaics. The orthomosaics are just maps that are made of photographs. And you use software to turn them into something that is geographically accurate, so really correlates what's on the ground. You can use it just like a map. But you have to use special software called photogrammetry software for that. But that's becoming a lot more available, and it's a real push-button procedure now. It's with these software programs. So just upload all the drone photos with GPS data, send it to the software. It's often cloud-based software, so you don't have to run it on your own computer. And then the software just outputs you a drone map, and then you can use that the way you would any other map. or with GIS software and stuff like that. And so for humanitarian aid, that's insanely useful because you've got situations like I got to figure out how many houses have been destroyed by the tsunami and how many houses are still standing. So you can do that kind of count really well. And you can use satellite imagery in conjunction with the drone. So they kind of complement each other because you can often use the satellite image to figure out what it'll look like before.
Yeah.
You can use the drone because the drone can capture much higher resolution imagery at a much lower altitude, and it can also operate below the clouds, so you don't have to worry about weather. Whereas the satellite, the clouds will block out the image sometimes. So, so drones are great for that post-disaster period where you're trying to figure out what the heck just happened, where do I need to go. People use them for navigating after disaster. I was just talking to some folks in Sierra Leone and Uganda who have been using drones to deal with really devastating landslides and mudslides, which are unfortunately a huge problem in really volcanic areas with lots of mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And they use the drones both to make maps of the landslide, and then they can actually send those maps to geologists to predict what landslides might happen in the future to evaluate the risk. And they also use the imagery right after the disaster to figure out, like, how do I get a car up here? Because you can look for roads and routes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that's huge. Cool. There's other things we do. There's things like refugee camp monitoring. So there's a huge refugee camp in Bangladesh for the Rohingya, who are a Muslim minority group in Myanmar, and who have been pushed across the border. And we're UNHCR, so the UN group that works with refugees, they're using drones to kind of map this refugee camp on a regular basis, so they can figure out, because refugee camps grow and change a lot over time. So they map it as often as they can to really make sure they're staying on top of their providing resources, figuring out how people are walking. They can actually do things like look for trails people are cutting, and then they can make those into formal trails. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with planning, and which is super important in disaster. So
wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. Like the amount of things that we can do.
Yeah, there's lots of
so cool.
Yeah, there's so many cool use cases. I mean, one of my favorites is that activists have been using them a lot. So you'll get people so for example, there's this amazing researcher and activist I know in Indonesia. He's been working with this ethnic group in Borneo called the Dayak. So the Dayak people are using drone imagery and drone maps to basically hold on to their land, because corporations try to kind of encroach on their land for palm oil plantations. And they use the drone imagery to prove they own the land, and they've actually won court cases on the basis of the drone imagery. So a lot of indigenous groups and groups that are like subject to land grabbing, which is a huge problem around the world, are using drones to kind of formalize, like, this is my land, you can see, here's the stuff that I own, here's the stuff that I built. And they also can use it to prove that people are invading their land, because they have this amazing imagery they can point to and say, look, here's the proof. So that's another interesting way people are using drones.
That is an action movie that I would watch.
Yeah, right? He's the coolest guy.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question in the chat. Do you have any civilian drone funny stories or horror stories that you've heard of? Any faves?
Well, actually, great. It's a great segue. So every year I do something called Drone Crashmas. It's the hashtag Drone Crashmas on Twitter. I've been doing this since 2014. Geez, 2014. It's been a long time.
Oh my gosh.
Every year I collect all the stories on Twitter of mishaps with Christmas drones, and there's tons of them. And every year, like clockwork, I've actually figured out that it begins to basically tick up in the evening on Christmas Eve. And then by about noon on December 25th, it's just, you hit about the apogee. And this is obviously in the United States, the timing. I can tell when people are opening Christmas gifts in like the UK and other parts of the world now, based on the drone crash stories around Christmas, which is really funny. It's everything from, my favorite, I think, of all time was this person tweeting that they got this mini drone for Christmas, and they promptly flew it into the kitchen because they had no control over it, and they slammed it into their grandmother's big pot of macaroni and cheese. I think that might actually be my favorite one. But there was a story a few years ago where some dad lost it in a tree, so we got all the neighbors to come over to cut the tree down. I mean, there's lots of stories involving animals and dogs and cats, just eating Christmas drones.
Well, so even with a computer, it seems like we're still too dumb to handle 4 rotors.
Oh, we are, yeah. It's
Oh my gosh.
I always tell people for Christmas, buy a nice tiny one. The worst thing people do is they buy like $1,000 full-size quadcopter. They have no idea what they're doing. And there's some bizarre human instinct where humans, the first thing they do with the drone is how high can it go? Which, what?
No, that's it'll get too far away.
A literal Icarus. A literal Icarus.
Totally. It's hilarious. It's just bizarre. I don't have this impulse personally, but as far as I could tell, 90% of humanity does. And they just go, woo. So most of the fancier drones, thank God, have a geofence on them. Because in the United States, it's illegal to fly a drone above 400 feet. If they get a special waiver, it's a big pain in the butt. Do not do this. There's a ton of drone laws you need to remember if you're flying a drone. And they're really, for God's sake, please check the drone laws. You will get in trouble. You need a license to fly a drone in many circumstances. So do your research. But
check those drone laws, everybody.
Right, please. But I spend so much time dealing with this. But the geofencing, the good news is that many higher-end drones will have automatic geofencing. They'll literally stop at 400 feet. But unfortunately, people do figure out to override that. But generally not random people who get them for Christmas, thank God.
Right.
But they also try to make it go as far away as possible, and that's when you can really lose it somewhere. And then you have to post like depressing tweets or put like posters around the neighborhood. And
that's the thing of like these people, they're trying to find out how high it goes or how far away it goes, and it's like, I think you could just Google that.
Yeah, you could, right? I'm pretty sure there's data in the box on that, but
yeah.
That's the number one complaint. Or they buy a really fancy drone, which they have no idea what they're doing with, and they slam it into a wall or a tree.
Just the human impulse to like fly something is so interesting.
Yeah, it's super fun. Don't get me wrong, but I tell people just buy a $20 drone on Amazon that's like about the size of your hand. You can really minimize the chaos.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want to like practice? We do this with like almost everything else of like when you're first starting something, you start with like a cheaper version so that you can practice. And in case you damage it, it's not like thousands of dollars of money lost. Like you guys start with a little drone, please.
Yeah, work your way up.
Please start with a nice small one. The nice small ones usually are a little harder to fly because they have less onboard computers. That's actually good for you because that will make you a better pilot.
Yeah, builds character.
Builds character even if you're confused. So
yeah. So Mike actually pulled up some drone crashing footage. Why don't we go ahead and pop that up on the screen and watch it?
Oh yes, good stuff.
Check this out.
I'm so excited.
Look at that drone.
I've seen this one.
Getting a little groove on.
This is a classic. He made a save.
Monkeys. Happy Monkey Day, everybody.
Happy monkey. Oh, he's gonna get it.
Monkey's first flight.
That's the good stuff. This is what we're here for.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
This is worth it. This is a good use of your drone.
That's incredible.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What is happening?
Oh no.
Why is doing? Oh.
Fear of drone?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It went right for him. Oh no.
Classic. That was balloons. That was inevitable.
Oh,
That was inevitable. They're drawn to each other like a moth to a flame.
balloons are a real bummer.
Okay. All right, I think that's enough of that. Happy Drone-mas, everybody.
Yeah.
Drone Crashmas. It's a tradition. Every year.
Tradition.
Well, I'm excited to check it out. We have your handle down below so that everyone else can check it out too. I'm gonna go check out some drone crashing this year.
Yeah, do it. Everyone contribute your own stories. I love to have more people share their own drone chaos tales. And yeah, it's from the Drone Crashmas hashtag. So.
Yeah, everybody go check out Faine's Twitter at FaineG. Faine, thank you so much for coming on today. I learned so much. This was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great day.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
I learned so much that I truly didn't know. I'll say any of that. Any of it.
We didn't. We're enlightened now. We know. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's would you want to fly if you could?
Like as my superpower?
Yeah, like would that be a superpower you would want?
Well, here's the thing. So so if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want the power of flight?" I wouldn't say no. But I need everyone to understand that because of the way the human body is, anyone who flies is gonna have to wear goggles.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's like when dogs have goggles, and they have goggles when they stick their head out the window. It's because their eyes get dry from the wind and they don't know. I don't know if they're just like they don't know to blink, or if like it just dries out too fast. But like that's why you have to put goggles on dogs. With humans, like you'd have to wear goggles because your eyes are gonna dry out.
Yeah, and if we can't keep control of our drones, who's gonna remember to put on goggles?
Yeah, we're not responsible enough for flight.
Not responsible enough for this.
But I would say I think that like the superpower, my preference would be shape-shifting.
Wow, that's a lot of power.
It is, because and I have a friend who has a version of this of like she would pick the ability to like change the size of any body part at any given moment. So like not necessarily the shape, but just the size. But like imagine just like, I don't know, a shoe doesn't fit and you're like, I really want to wear this shoe tonight. And you just change the size of your feet.
I'm looking for an application and that's the one. There it is. Okay.
That's it. That's perfect. Or I don't, maybe if you needed to smell something better, I wonder if like making your nose bigger would change that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I get reaching into tiny places. I think that that would help.
Yeah. But I would love to do shape shifting because I think because you know, I'm an actress. And it's kind of what we do anyway, you know?
Oh, that's true. You're a pretty great shapeshifter.
Yeah, thank you. And what would your superpower be?
You know, I used to think it was flight because it seems like the one that I can most opt into and opt out of in terms of like the negative repercussions. But I didn't think about goggles, so now I got to consider this.
That's another thing of people like really, you have to consider like the monkey's paw situation of it, right? So like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be telepathic. And it's like,
do you though?
do you really want to know what people are thinking all the time? Like, and also, are you going to be able to turn it on and off? Why limit your shapeshifting to just size, though? That's a good question.
Good question.
I think it was one of those things of like, you can't have the perfect power. And so she was trying to make it like a realistic option. You know what I mean?
The realism of changing any side of any part of you at any moment. Yeah. I love that.
That's important. But yeah, thinking about like with like knowing what people are thinking about the time. I don't know. That's dangerous because a lot of times like we think things and then we're like, no, that's not real.
Yeah. Listen, I have enough to talk about in therapy without dealing with other people's therapy thoughts that I now hear. So.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with invisibility. I feel like, it's just too much. It would be too much to deal with. But flying, other than the eyes thing, I feel like it would be like, even if I did it for fun occasionally.
Straightforward, useful.
Teleportation, I think, is the other one that I would go for.
Teleportation is great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'd get a little lazy with it, but.
Yeah. You'd never get any exercise.
Yeah. Bella, thank you. I appreciate it. I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah. Well, so because what if you're a baby and you have the power of flight and you can't control it yet, and then you're just like floating out of your crib?
True.
You have to be like strapped down or like, supervision 24/7 as you're growing up because you know what I mean?
That's very true. I love the idea that invisibility and mind reading, you're both risking a lot of farts. Oh, man.
And that's, with great power comes great responsibility.
It absolutely does. Chloe, one of your superpowers is, I can't believe, how many books have you read this year so far? Because it's an impressive amount.
I've read 20 books.
To me, like, you're living a full life, you're doing stuff, you're running this show, you're an amazing trainer. And the fact that you are like on task and like, I am reading 20 books, to me is a big deal.
Well, so I started the year with a lot of goals. I made a 2020 goal spreadsheet. A lot of those had to be put on hold, but the reading was something I could do. I wanted to do 24 books. I've never read that many books in a year unless I did it before. I'm sure I maybe did it in high school or something and just wasn't counting.
Yeah.
But most of the time I get like somewhere between 16 and 20 books a year. And so I wanted to push myself a little bit. I wanted to do 2 books a month. And earlier in the year, I read Wuthering Heights, and it took me a very long time. And then I was angry at reading for a while. And so I fell a little bit behind. No one prepares you for that book. Like, you know that there's Kathy and Heathcliff and there's a romance there, but no one tells you just how incredibly unlikable these characters are. They're bad people. They're toxic. No one's nice to each other in that book at all. That upset me a lot.
That does sound upsetting. Are you reading anything that's less upsetting?
I'm not. Okay, so we're going to talk books. We're talking books. So new segment. The last book I read is this guy. It's called The News from Spain. What you reading?
Ooh.
It's a collection of short stories. And it's really well written. The author is Boston-based, which is really cool. And the thing I love about this book is that all of the stories are like, they feel so real. And there's no way that all the titles of all the short stories are called The News from Spain. It's 7 variations with completely different characters. And the thing that is so cool about it is you're reading these stories and you're like, this had to have happened. Like, this has to be a real story. But there's no way that all 7 of these things happened to this one author.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's such a cool skill to like be able to build a world within a story of like, this is like the details are so specific and so odd that it has to have been drawn from real life. That feeling of like, this is, and the emotional resonance is really there, which is really cool. But all of these stories are about infidelity.
Oh, that's a tricky one. That's a good warning for people.
It's a good warning. And so there were a lot of things I loved about it, but it was like I had to take breaks in between the stories and be like, oh,
take a moment.
People are awful to each other.
Sounds like it, coming off of Wuthering Heights, it's been a real downer, even though it's been a really beautiful, exciting story.
Yeah. And I realized that too. There are a lot of short stories that are just like kind of like, oh, the human condition.
Which great writing. Good job.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, I'd like to smile a little bit sometimes.
I have something that I'm reading that is making me smile because I'm a nerd, and maybe it'll make you smile too. I've been reading The Art of Gathering.
Ooh.
Yes, there it is. How we eat and why it matters. And I pretty much exclusively read self-improvement books and nonfiction and memoirs. So I'm very fun. But this book is really uplifting and interesting, especially in a time when we can't physically gather. It talks a lot about one of my favorite things that she mentioned so far is she talks about the specific purpose for each gathering. So we have this impulse to gather. And oftentimes we don't reach down further than that and think about, well, why this specific gathering? And something that she said that I've never thought about is that the purpose for a gathering should be disputable. So not just we're having a wedding to celebrate love, but we're having a wedding to thank our parents for raising us is a disputable argument versus we're having a wedding to surround ourselves with the people that make us feel the most us as adults. Those are two very different purposes. And it's really getting to like reevaluate kind of why we get together with people and just have more meaning in them. Yeah.
And that also finding that specific purpose simplifies the rest of your choices.
Yes, that's exactly what she says, where she's like, well, if you have to make a choice about things, it's very easy when you have a specific purpose. And it actually saves you and everyone you're gathering with from a lot of pain because you start to seek other venues for the other things that you need or want in your life.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, and I've been seeing that theme a lot over and over. I forget what the particular phenomenon is called, but it's the one where it's like you see something and you've never seen it before and now you're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
But like with a lot of things, that is that simplification of choice, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing in improv of like, if you're in a scene, you decide one thing about your character, you make that choice and you follow it down the rabbit hole. So, you're not trying to build all these like complexities and stuff. It's just like you make a simple, strong choice and you follow that. Yeah. In terms of your space, like the life-changing magic of tidying up, learning what you really care about, like picking things up and being like, this is something that I love. I want to have this around me. I want to have all these things that I love around me. And then, if you go through all your books and you realize all of your books are about one specific thing.
For instance, terrible people being unfaithful. If you read Wuthering Heights.
No. I realize I don't like those things.
It's okay, Chloe.
I'm going to give this book away.
Oh
Which
man.
is going to be a lovely gift for someone else.
It will.
And there's also another book I'm reading called Changemakers by John Berardi, and he applies that to his whole life in terms of you want to pick your principles and pick the things that matter to you. And then every other decision you make in your life, ask those same questions about it. So like you pick the things that are important to you: family, travel, and intellectual growth. And someone comes to you and is like, hey, I'm going to start a commune down the street. Do you want to come? And you're like, well, does this involve travel? It's not really far away. It's just down the street. Does this involve family? No, actually, if you join this cult, you won't see your family ever again. Does this involve intellectual growth? Possibly. I'm not sure what kind of cult it is, but it may not.
Yeah, it doesn't fit your specific goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Loaf the Wonder Bread says goals are tricky when resentment over having to complete them trickles in. And this is a great way to deal with that, right? Where it's like, it tells you what to let go of. It tells you where you might find frustration or resentment. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I find that, and I want to tell you guys, I think I've said this before on the show, but I'm going to say it again. If you don't like a book, you don't have to finish it.
Oh my God, yes. Stop reading books. Did I tell you that I abandoned 1984 in a different country? I left it in a hostel. I got to the end. I'd read most of this book. I love dystopia, but I got to the end of it and I was like, nope, shut it and left it in the hostel.
Honestly, good for you. I found it took me a really long time because I thought it was impolite to not finish a book. And it's or there was some kind of failing with me that I was like, oh, I'm not able to finish this book. I must be stupid. It's no, the author just didn't write something for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is bad. Humans write books.
Yeah.
They're human. They might write a bad book.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right?
Yeah. And it takes I had other reasons for finishing Wuthering Heights because it was a classic and I wanted to, and I also was reading because I was it has to get better, right? Spoiler alert, they're assholes till the end of the book.
Well, now I read it.
Now you don't even have to look at it. You're welcome.
I know.
I made that sacrifice for you. But I read books so much faster when I'm enjoying them. A book that I'm struggling with, this same length would take me a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Because I enjoyed the writing, it took me a week and a half.
Oh, even with a difficult subject matter, the good writing gets you through.
It does.
Oh man, this is so indicative of our friendship, where we have either conversations about what you should prioritize in your life, or we're talking about really dumb shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
That's basically it. I'm excited for our musical guest today.
I am excited as well. Let's go ahead and bring her on. Everyone, please welcome me, Tom. I hope I said that correctly. There she is. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, these are my bandmates.
Hi.
Good morning.
This is Pete Dennis and Luca Farrell. They'll be joining me today.
And you're calling in from Philadelphia, yeah?
Indeed.
Awesome. What are you going to play for us today?
So we're thinking about playing some of my original stuff. So yeah, just give us a cue.
All right. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Go for it.
Nice.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
You were once a boy like me. Somehow you refused to see that I'm the man you want to be. Treats his life with dignity. My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. At the supper at 23, a shepherd boy becomes a king. But you won't see the king in me. I once was a boy like you. My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. Why won't you look at me now? Just why won't you look at me now? Just why won't you look at me now? Just why? Why won't you look at me now? Just why won't you look at me now? Just why won't you look at me now? Just why? My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. My own young boy. Why won't you look at me now? It's the shame, 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 too much to bear for an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. For an old young boy like you. Where did you go? Said, where did you go?
Woo! Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah, we're super vibing with that, and so were people in the chat. That's fantastic. When did you write that piece?
Maybe like 1.5 years ago. I was honestly just really mad at someone.
That's a great reason to write music.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a fun one for us to play together.
And did you all meet in school or through some other scene?
Yeah, we met through school. I think it was both y'all's freshman year, and then I just started jazz as well, and yeah, been playing ever since.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And you're currently doing a master's in jazz performance.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell us about like that experience doing that and then like writing your own solo stuff in coordination.
Hard. You know, it's I really do like school. It's nice to just be able to be in an environment that is solely focused on your musicianship and your craft. And just the classes that I'm taking has also just opened up my ears to so many musical possibilities. So I guess in that sense, it kind of influences my writing. But it's also kind of hard juggling, X amount of assignments with, pursuing my own thing.
Definitely. Yeah. And I love that you're like, it influences it and they're different things and it's hard to juggle both.
Yeah.
Some of like you mentioned that this is like opened your ears to some of the new sounds. What are some of like the newer sounds that you're discovering that you're like, this is really influencing me right now?
Oh, that's kind of hard. Where to start?
I know. I'm sorry, I'm asking the hard questions, but your music is so cool.
No, I really appreciate it. So I'm taking a class that's based off of chromaticism and I guess just trying to hear different possibilities within harmony.
Mm.
And you know, I gotta say, some of it is pretty freaking weird. But but I think just knowing that I can hear these sort of things kind of opens up the possibility of, oh, I can incorporate this, you know, at any time. It's just like a tool.
Yeah.
Another thing is just being able to hear other people's music as well. I currently live in a Latin-based community, and just hearing like the different rhythms and just like melodies from outside my window, and also just kind of seeing people play that music is also really inspiring to me too.
Oh, that's super cool. Did you have another song for us? I love your song.
We'll keep going until you tell us to stop or shut up or whatever, you know? Let's do Sunflower. All right, this is a song called Sunflower in the East. Just text us.
Can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth. Sliding into a world unknown, I never cussed for this, yet here I stand so tall, amongst the dragons that I long looked up to. Chase the sun, the sun and for it. Why must I kill the child in me to stay alive? So stop, need the world to stop, need the world to stop. So endlessly, endlessly, I walk the fine line between the earth and sky. If there ever is a time in life when we say goodbye to love not meant to be, and you know that only time can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth, for only time can tell the truth. alone. You know the colors fade into a lifeless gray. Must be more to life than what they advertise. Never got the chance, never learned to grow. Tell my all till now, why did it take so long? For me to chase the dawn till dusk again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful.
Oh,
I love hearing your music. I think everyone in our chat was really excited about it too. We put your website down here in the ticker and also in the chat. Go check it out. There's so much great stuff there at soulflora.card.co.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. I'm excited to see what you do next. Thanks for spending time with us today, everyone.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
thanks, Rand.
Just a good vibe.
I love that. Oh, her voice is so lovely.
Yeah. So many different colors. It's really cool.
Very smooth. My dog is barking because he's alone. Can you,
Dog. Me too.
I'm gonna go grab him. He's very upset.
That's so fine. Oh, we all love Buddy Joe. I have been so excited to be here with all of you. And I'm still thinking about what could possibly be that tallest mountain. That's my big question. It's got to be a volcano, right? It's got to be. Thank you for the picture, Mike. That very much helps me. I'm not a drone, Mike. I can't map out things. Yeah. The monkey helps, actually. You know what? The monkey does help. You think it doesn't, but it does. Oh, well, now I can only think of Nick Cage. You know, that's...
All right, we're back.
Oh, what a little buddy. We actually...
Look at him.
I have matching doggos.
We do. Yes. Buddy Joe is a very good dog. Now it's my turn to vamp for a while. Buddy Joe's a very good dog, but he gets upset when he's alone. Sometimes I leave the room and he starts barking, and he like, even if I just go to the bathroom and shut the door and he looks around and realizes I'm not there, he's like, I'm alone. I'm alone.
I'm alone. I'm alone in the world.
Look at our matching Muppet dogs.
They are Muppet dogs. Yeah, Bella's like, I was being good and sleeping. Why are you doing this to me? So we were just talking about what could possibly be the tallest mountain.
Well, let's find out. The parent trap.
With dogs. Oh,
we're gonna parent trap these dogs.
How do you reverse parent trap dogs?
That's so funny. Maybe, I mean, we have to have like a meet cute.
Mm.
They do. Look at their faces.
No. Hello. You're so good. Oh my gosh. I had a dream that I adopted 3 more dogs, and I woke up and was like, I don't know.
I might not. I had a dream that an evil mastermind was possessing Buddy Joe's body. And
a fierce game of cards. I like that they are still in a kennel, but they get to play cards.
yeah.
I mean, peanut butter and blonde Oreos, maybe, you know?
I had a dream that Buddy Joe was being possessed by an evil mastermind. And I don't know why I didn't just put him in a kennel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever they're like, there's an evil dog mastermind, you're like, but it's still a dog.
It's still a dog.
Well, the human. They can't use drones.
Anyway, we were talking about mountains.
Yes, we were. So let's find out, what is that tallest mountain? Mike showed me a picture. It didn't help.
Oh. Not Everest is the tallest above sea level, but not the tallest mountain from base to peak. Which mountain is it? It's this mountain. Oh,
Yes!
Mauna Kea. Yes. Okay, and so this is a volcanic mountain.
Yeah, I'll say I knew it. I didn't know it. If you asked me to name it, I could not.
Yeah. I've been on that mountain.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I went on vacation with my parents years ago now. And they have, so up at the top of Mauna Kea, they have an observatory. And so they in Hawaii, they specifically they have certain kind of street lights to reduce light pollution because it's a very good place to like look at the stars. And so they have this big telescope in this observatory. And Hawaii also, very interestingly, is, so there are 13 different climates in the world. Hawaii possesses 11 of them, depending on where you go.
Wow.
And so it's actually very, very cold at the top of this mountain. And so we went on this bus tour where you're in Hawaii, but they give you these giant oversized parkas and mittens and all this stuff. Like we could have fit like three Chloes into this one parka. And so there are a couple stops along the way, but you go up the mountain and then you're stargazing in your giant parka and you get hot cocoa and it's a lovely experience.
That does sound lovely. And Bella Hanging Live has called me out. Gwen wishing she could teleport to the cool spot Chloe's been to. Well, props for being extremely accurate.
Yeah, we got to be real on this show.
Yeah, we're getting down to the real moment.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
Yeah. I like, oh my gosh, I'm such a nerd about Hawaii because it's a fascinating place.
Oh, this actually, Bella, this is killing me because I was gonna go this year. I had plans to go this year. Back in August. I keep forgetting this and people keep reminding me of it. That was my canceled COVID plan. But one day.
Gwen, we're gonna go to Hawaii together.
What a joy that will be.
It truly will. I'll take you to the Polynesian Cultural Center. You're gonna love it.
That's beautiful. I'm very excited. Maybe we can bring back a spider monkey.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
Okay. Oh man, this has been really, really cool. And thanks for hanging out in the chat with us, Bella. It's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna finish a little bit early. We're gonna finish up the show a little bit early, but couple things before we go. We got to do some birthdays.
Yes.
Yes.
Birthday.
Now, Mike, let's pop those birthdays up. Oh no, I called Mike. Happy birthday to Vanessa Hudgens, Patty Duke, Ted Ramey, and Nostradamus.
Oh, Nostradamus! Happy birthday to you, buddy.
That's an ominous birthday.
Yeah.
I want to say happy birthday to Vanessa Hudgens personally because
I love Vanessa Hudgens.
She is working so hard in those Christmas switched movies.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet. Has anyone watched them yet in the chat?
I'm watching Vanessa Hudgens.
And I'm running out of stuff, so I feel like it's something I should try. I did watch part of The Night Before Christmas one year.
Oh no!
They're
right.
Right.
Okay, that's all we need.
Are they like? Where are they on a scale of like 1 to Jingle Jangle? Because that's my top right now.
I've heard Jingle Jangle is very good.
So good. Worth a watch. Worth several watches.
And a couple other birthdays. My good friend Juliet Rose has his birthday today. Kwasi Menza. We've had him on the show. Taylor Swift was yesterday.
Oh,
T Swift. Oh my gosh, have you listened to Evermore yet?
I put it on as ambient noise. I need to sit down and have like a specified listen though. Honestly, I wasn't over folklore. As an almost 30 woman, you know, I was like, this is extremely real. And I was like, I need a moment. And then we just got more.
We just got more. Well, okay, so let's read these birthdays and we'll talk more about Evermore. Tuesday, Mo Vaughn, Camilla Luddington, Daniel Ezra. I don't know any of those people. Wednesday, Kristen Ritter, Billy Gibson's, who's ZZ Top, Benjamin Bratt. Thursday, Eugene Levy. Oh, what a treasure. What a treasure. Sarah Paulson, another treasure. Bill Pullman, a third treasure. What a great day. Friday, Billie Eilish and Brad Pitt.
Oh, your girl.
I love Billie Eilish. She's the most Sagittarius of Sagittariuses. T Swift is turning 31. Yep.
Yes.
A year younger than me.
100%. So I know that when she was writing folklore, she was around my age, and that's why it hits direct at the heart.
Yeah. And so, and I've been reading a lot about this, and it was of course, so Evermore is sort of an extension of the folklore album. Because what was happening is that they were writing all this music and then they just couldn't stop. And the metaphor that she uses is like, you know, we were standing in the woods, the folklore woods, and we had the choice to either go home or go deeper into the woods. And they went deeper. And I'm so glad that they did.
Yeah. It's so nice to get new content right now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's so, like, it is really resonant. And Evermore folklore is starting to do more storytelling because so much of her work has been autobiographical. Folklore, she shifted into this other storytelling. Evermore is almost entirely storytelling. But the emotional resonance is still there. You can tell, like, these are definitely feelings that Taylor has felt.
Yeah, it felt pretty like sincere. I love that she can feel so sincere because, you know, she's also a killer businesswoman and, you know, presenter and so smart and so on top of her brand. And the fact that she can also bring some like beautiful authenticity while balancing that is kill it, lady. Go for it. Yes. Here for it.
What are your favorite tracks off Folklore?
Again, I needed an emotional minute from Folklore. So you're putting me on the spot right now where I listened to it and I was like, we're going to take a break from this for a second. Love it. And ouchie.
Yeah,
you know,
let's pull up the track list.
Yeah, Cardigan, great. Mad Woman, I think, is great. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
so, those were probably like. Can you pick just two? Can you?
It's hard. And so mine are always changing. I really like My Tears Ricochet and Mirror Ball.
My Tears Ricochet is another fave for me. That's a real solid one.
And that's another thing that I really appreciate about Taylor Swift is that she puts voice to more complex emotions and emotions that women are not typically supposed to feel. Of, you know, like there's a lot of like anger in this music, and it's something like anger is something that women traditionally are taught to suppress. And I love that she talks about it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is about to get to Gwen and Chloe land where we just talk about female anger. Because you should absolutely be allowed to be angry. And we are not encouraged to. Big consequences for it. There's this beautiful statue. Oh my God, what's it called? It's a reimagining of Medusa, and it's a symbol of female anger. It's gorgeous. I want one in my home. You can buy one, but it's $700. I don't have that money. So instead, I'm going to put Taylor Swift on and be like, this this is one representative of female anger. I love musicians that take their platform to do that, where they're like, this is the thing you don't see, thing you don't hear.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there.
We're going to bring it out. We're going to do it. And then I will say, so my favorite tracks off of Evermore so far, and again, according to Spotify, I'm in the top 2% of Taylor Swift fans. But I have not listened to it enough to really know, but I love 'Tis the Damn Season and Tolerate It. And so 'Tis the Damn Season is a character who is coming home for the holidays and reconnecting with an old love.
I do remember that's one of the ones when I was still like, it was in the background, but I was like, ooh, revisit it.
Oof, the feels.
That was a really good one. I liked it. Again, female anger. I love that you brought up your Spotify. Did everyone do in the comments? Did you do your Spotify thing? I know it's a little cheesy, but it's the greatest.
Yeah.
My top was obviously Sarah Bareilles because I'm a angry girl, but I'm also a sad girl.
Sad girl Gwen.
Sad girl Gwen. It's just very comforting. Have you seen the tweet that someone's like, I love when people say so true, and it's like, yeah, it's raw data.
Yeah, this is like literal numbers.
Literal. Mike, do you do this? I'm curious. I had a friend who realized that they must have left their Spotify on one night and accidentally played one song for like 24 hours. So their data got all messed up and they think they really like this one classic rock song.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. That's a sad thing. That's to open it up and be like, what?
Wait, I don't even care about this song.
No, I haven't listened to Pink Floyd in years. And that's like, no, apparently not on April 24th. You didn't.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, though, if I was an artist, if I did music, I would play my own songs over and over to just get that sweet, sweet streaming money.
Listen, systems are messed up. You got to find some revenge.
Yeah. You guys support artists as much as you can. I hear Bandcamp is a great place to go.
Oh, that's good to know.
To like pay artists and etc.
I love that.
Anyway, what's the? Okay, we did trivia. We did birthdays.
We did trivia, birthdays.
Let's do. On this day in 1911, Roald Amundsen became the first explorer to reach the South Pole. That's where all the penguins are.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I think I would like that better than the North Pole, given the pengies.
Penguin content, yeah. Big misconception. No penguins at the North Pole.
None.
They're in Antarctica.
No Roald Amundsens either.
You can't. It's just a cold place is just better with a Roald Amundsen.
It's a great name. Props on the name.
I'm gonna put that name in my pocket for when I have a kid.
Roald Amundsen. Roald Amundsen Zwiacher.
Yep, that's it.
Yes, big fan.
Gwen, you got any shows coming up this week?
Oh boy, do I. Not so much this week, but definitely next week. This week I'm on Mind Over Manor on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
That's been super fun. I love crafting under pressure. I'm not great at crafting, but crafting under pressure is a different skill.
Very different.
Yeah. And then next week, Golden Age Radio has a show on Monday that's improvised like radio plays, old-timey radio plays updated. It's really fun. Yeah. And then Tuesday is a big one. I've been working really hard on this holiday music special.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, I have a musical act called Sad Girl Songs, and I'm working with another group called Candid Badgers, and we're turning out a holiday Christmas spectacular on Tuesday. Lots of new content.
I love that.
Songs, so check that out. All on 2MB.
Oh, and you got a Baking Bash show?
I do. It's wild because if you stick around past that, next week on Sunday, yeah, next week, this week on Sunday, you're right. There's another baking bash, and it's holiday themed. We're all wrapped up in layers. So that's our theme. We're excited to be there with Loaf.
Loaf is going to be there. Mayo is going to be involved. It's going to be spectacular.
It is. It's a busy holiday. What can I say? I'm very grateful this year for 2MB. Very grateful for you, my friend Chloe, who is always the best on a personal note. Always lovely. And I'm so glad to see you virtually and distanced and every day.
Oh, it's just what a great start to the week. Getting to see a chat about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Talk about female anger for a little bit. and doggles.
And doggles. Don't forget the doggles. Very important.
Don't do it. I'll be female angry at you.
All right, friends. Well, stick around. We got plenty of content on 2MB today. We got some great shows tonight. We've got QAW on Thursday, Quarantine Action Wrestling.
I'm
Della,
on Christmas Eve.
And on Christmas Eve.
Action Wrestling.
Yeah.
Fighting in the Jingle Belt?
No, not that I know of yet. But we're doing a tag team match this week. Me and Slamazon against Breaking Bad, I believe.
Yeah, they're really great.
Good match.
Team, and is it Claire Bear and Breck Stream?
Yes.
Yes.
Breck Stream.
Paige Austin is getting back on Christmas Eve into that ring. She hasn't been in for a while in the women's division. She's getting back there.
I feel like that's a great holiday show is a great context for Paige Austin.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a cool few months on QAW, so check that out for sure.
For sure. Oh, and check out last week's episode. There was a Hanukkah episode. I did use this sweater, so take a look. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for spending your morning with us. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to Mike. What a gem. I'm so happy to have you back. Mike, I miss you.
Oh, we got a flash of that beautiful hair, and then it was gone.
Bye.
Oh, there it is.
Hello, Mike's hair. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. And love yourself. Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, world.